All right, in this example, what we're going to do is we're going to look at a new way to get information from our user. We're going to use the prompt method, which will be a pop-up window with a text box that they can fill in. We're going to store that in variables. We're going to do some calculations that we are going to store in variables. And then what we're going to do is we are going to use a string operation to do what's called concatenation. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow us to string our words and our variables together. So let's go ahead and start with the prompt. Again, we're just going to have basic HTML. We're going to convert dollars to pounds in this example. The one in your book is going to do something similar. It converts temperatures from Fahrenheit to centigrade or vice versa. I need a head. Don't know why I keep forgetting that. Guess I've been off too long this summer. And so what we're going to do in our body is we are going to prompt the user to give us some information. And in this case, we're going to ask them how many dollars they want to convert. So real quick, let me jump on over to our browser. As of today, the conversion rate is that $1 US equals 82 pounds sterling. So we'll need to know the 0.82 for our conversion rate. But first what we have to do is figure out how many dollars they want to convert. And so we're going to set up a variable and we're going to name it dollars. Now there are tons and tons of rules about naming variables that you need to review in the textbook and in the learning module. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and keep it simple and name our variable dollars. And we're going to set this equal to the result of one of these built-in methods, the window method prompt. So we're going to say put up a prompt, which is going to be a pop-up window with a text box entry and OK. So we first put in the instructions of what they're supposed to enter. So enter dollars to convert. That's the required parameter inside this method. If we put a comma here, we can add another parameter, and this second parameter, which is optional, will actually show up as text in the text box on the prompt menu. So you can leave it blank and people usually can figure out what they're doing, but if you wanted to give an example of the type of data they would be entering, you could do that with that second parameter. So you have the first one, which is going to show what they're going to be, the instructions are going to be given, and then if I want to pre-fill that box. So what happens is this window comes up, the user types in a number, and they hit the enter key, and whatever gets saved from that then gets put into my variable that I've created named dollars. Now remember from your reading, we're not going to type variables here. We're not going to see if they're floating with decimal points or integers or things like that. We can and we will later on work with those types of functions, but for now we're just going to go ahead and take what they have. So I'm going to go ahead and set up another variable, and I'm going to name this converted. And so we're going to say that that is equal to whatever they entered times our conversion rate. So it's going to do that math. It's going to retrieve whatever number is stored in dollars. It's going to multiply it by 82, and it's going to store that value in our variable that we created named converted. So then what we have to do is we have to give our output to our user. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to document.write. We could do this with an alert if we wanted to. And I'm going to concatenate using the plus sign. There is a function concat string that you'll look at. It's a basic string option in chapter 2, I believe. But I'm going to go ahead and just string these together using plus signs. Now the thing you need to know about concatenation, it's a fancy word for smushing things together, is anything that is literally going to be printed, so the words that you want to add that don't change will be in double quotes. Anything that's being pulled from a variable, like the answers that you're trying to show, will be displayed using the variable name and not inside quotes. So this is what it looks like. I will say, I'm going to start out with what they entered. So it's going to say, if they entered 8, it's going to see 8 plus, which is concatenation. And I'm going to put a space in because it's literally going to type what I tell it to. So it's going to put whatever value is stored in dollars plus, and I'm going to put a space in so the number that they typed isn't right up against the word dollars, is equal to space, and then I'm going to concatenate on our answer, and then I'm going to concatenate on British pounds. Close my parentheses for the document.write, and then put on my semicolon. So let's look at this. It retrieves whatever is currently stored in dollars and displays it there, and then it literally adds. So if this says 10, if they put in 10, it would say $10 is equal to space. It'll retrieve my answer from my conversion, and then I'll concatenate on British pounds. Now look, it's going to say whatever my answer is, and then it's going to put plus British pounds. But notice there's no space there, which means that number would be smushed right up against that B in British. So I'm going to go ahead and put in a space there. So let's save this as currency conversion .html. I'm going to go back to my browser. I'm going to do a Control-O to open up my currency conversion. And I have an error, which is fine. We can use these videos to go through some errors. You're going to have them. I'll have them. So let's just talk through them. If you ever see your script on the page, chances are you didn't use a script tag. And that's exactly what happened. It's in HTML mode, body, it sees this as regular text, and it goes ahead and just shows my text. So let's tell the browser, hey, we meant for you to actually do JavaScript with that. We save that, we come back, we reload. This time we get our prompt, so notice the pop-up window comes up, it gives the instructions of enter dollars to convert. I'm going to change that to 10. I'm going to click OK, and it says that $10 is equal to 8.2 British pounds. It's always a good idea to check your answer with what you know is true. So when you're doing a conversion like this, of course, convert something that you know. 1 is equal to 0.82. The internet told us so. $1 is equal to 0.82 British pounds. And then you might want to try it with something wackadoodle. Let's do -10. It tells us that it is equal to -8.2 British pounds. While that math is correct, it doesn't make sense. And so in future chapters, we can check to see what happens if they enter incorrect data. But that's an example of a couple of concepts that you're going to look at in chapter 2. We'll come back in the next video and take a look at arrays.